Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Is this sound is clear? Can you hear it properly? So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 5, Prahlad, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu, texts 23 and 24. So this is a long verse with a long purport. And today we're going to talk about deity worship, which is also a long purport and a long purport. So I'll just read the verse and then I'll read the purport. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasya Shakya Atmanivedanam Iti Punsa Pita Vishnu Bhaktaschennava Lakshana Priyata Bhagavati Ada Tanmanye Pitam Uttamam. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, quality, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming His servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and serving everything unto Him. In other words, serving Him with body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. Maum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Itinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurani Charni Navase Shunyavani Paskata Adhistarni Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. This is the first is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam. Today we're speaking on Archanam. Too much feedback. Turn it down. Too much feedback. Yes, deity worship.
Number 5, right?
Yes, number 5. So Prahlad Maharaj was asked to speak by Hiranyakashipu what he learned from his gurus. But he said, those 2 fellows who think are not my gurus, in the Sandana Marka, the sons of Sukacharya. So I'm not going to speak what they told me, but I'm going to speak what Narada Muni, my real guru, told me. So this is what he spoke he heard from Narada Muni when he was in the womb of his mother. So today, Archanam, 9 process of devotional service. Yesterday was Pada Sevanam, worshiping the lotus feet. And that. So Archanam is a long purport in a long purport. So I'll read the purport, go through the purport and discuss different points. Archanam. After Padasevanam comes the process of Archanam, worship of the deity. If one is interested in the process of Archanam, one must possibly take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and learn the process from him. There are many books for Archana, especially Narada Pancharatra. In this age, the Pancharatra system is particularly recommended for Archana, deity worship. There are 2 systems of Archana, the Bhagavad system and the Pancharatra system. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there's no mention of Pancharatra worship because in Kali Yuga, even without deity worship, everything can be perfectly performed simply by hearing, chanting, remember, and worshiping the lotus feet of the Lord. Rupa Goswami states, Prahlad Maharaj attained salvation simply by hearing. Sukadeva Goswami attained salvation simply by chanting. Prahlad Maharaj attained salvation by remembering the Lord. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, attained perfection by worshiping the Lord's lotus feet. Pitru Maharaj attained salvation by worshiping the deity of the Lord. Akura attained salvation by offering prayers. Hanuman rendered service. Arjuna established friendship with the Lord, and Bali Maharaj by offering everything to the service of the Lord. All these great devotees served the Lord according to a particular process, but every one of them attained salvation, became eligible to return home back to Godhead. This explains Srimad Bhagavatam. So here it says that if one's interested in the process of deity worship, then you have to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Unless you get the one permission of spiritual master, so it's required that we take Diksha. And there's a Harinam Diksha and then Brahman Diksha. Because only Brahmins are allowed to worship the deity in the temple. And Prabhupada goes on to explain about this, that explain about deity worship for householders. But in any case, deity worship is not the Yuga Dharma. The Yuga Dharma is chanting the holy name. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama. Eva Kevalo. Kunduvan Stevana 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 Gatyurnita. But the deity worship is there and was established by Srila Prabhupada in accordance with the instructions of Bhakti-Siddhanta, that so by worshiping the deity we can become purified to preach Krishna consciousness. So by having a good sadhana, a good morning program, coming to Marla Artik, worshiping the deity, Guru Puja, class, everything, it keeps the devotee in the mode of goodness, keeps us pure. Because one man came to Prabhupada in Mayapur and said, "Why have you built this big temple?" And Prabhupada said, if I didn't build this temple, then you wouldn't come here to speak to me. So the temple is there. Devotees don't need a big temple. The temple is for the public, to give people a chance to become Krishna conscious by coming to the temple, taking darshan of deities, hearing the kirtan, taking prasadam, and getting Prabhupada's books. So all this is included in deity worship. And it says in that instruction that one should not over-endeavor to construct big buildings. But that does not apply to, it's not an over-endeavor to construct a temple. That is service, which is wanted and needed. And Prabhupada was predicted, by an astrologer predicted, that Srila Prabhupada would open 108 temples at the age of 70. So actually he did that. So wherever he went, he established open centers and established the deity worship. Of course, the devotees were neophytes and they didn't know much about deity worship. And one lady was supposed to make Brahmin threads for all the initiates who were getting second initiation. So she said, "What's a Brahmin thread?" She didn't know what it was. Then she said, "Well, I'm getting second initiation. Should I make one for myself?" And they said, "No, women don't wear Brahmin threads." So Prabhupada gave first and second initiation, both to men and women. But generally the wife, it becomes, whatever the husband is, the wife automatically becomes, if the husband's a Brahmin, then the wife automatically becomes a Brahmin. So it wasn't given, but Prabhupada gave second initiation to women and gave them Gayatri mantra, expected them to chant Gayatri 3 times a day. And also allowed the women to do the deity worship. Except for in Vrindavan, it's a standard where the women are not allowed to come on the altar. That's the standard of all the Goswami temples. So we're following that. And many temples are short-handed, so they have to have women do most of the puja around the world. So it says that Prithu Maharaj attained salvation by worshiping deity the Lord. Talking about deity worship. It's therefore recommended that initiated devotees follow the principles of Narada Pancharatra by worshiping the deity in the temple. So this Narada Pancharatra is also the Hari Bhakti Vilas. One can consult Hari Bhakti Vilas also for information about deity worship. Especially householder devotees who are opulent in material possessions, the path of deity worship is strongly recommended. An opulent householder who does not engage his hard-earned money in the service of the Lord is called a miser. One should not engage paid Brahmins to worship the deity. If one does not personally worship the deity, engage paid servants instead, he is considered lazy. His worship of deity is called artificial. An opulent householder can collect luxurious paraphernalia for deity worship, and consequently, for the household devotees, the worship of deity is compulsory. So we don't hire people to worship deities or to do kirtan. It's a offense to the holy name. And also, one should not speak Bhagavatam for money. That's also offensive. Or even expect money. Service should be Aitike Pratiyata, unmotivated, uninterrupted. So generally, the brahmacharis and grihasthas and brahmacharis do the deity worship Grihasthas also do deity worship. They may get some maintenance money, but it's not the same as being hired. It's the hired servant. There's no question of bhakti. If someone's doing it as a job, bhakti is not there. In our Krishna Consciousness movement, there are brahmacharis, grihasthas, and vanaprastha sannyasis, but the deity worship in the temple should be performed especially by the householders. The brahmacharis can go with the sannyasis to preach, vanaprasthas should prepare with the sannyasis to preach, and the vanaprasthas should prepare themselves for the next status of renounced life, sannyas. Grihastha devotees, however, are generally engaged in material activities and therefore do not take to deity worship. Their falling down is positively assured. Deity worship means following the rules and regulations precisely. That will keep one steady in devotional service. Generally, householders have children, and then the wives of the Brahma householders should be engaged in caring for the children, just as women acting as teachers care for the children in a nursery school. For the householders, should engage in deity worship, otherwise their falling down is positively assured. Because by worshiping a deity, then you have to follow strictly the 4 regulated principles: no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and you have to always keep yourself clean. Grihastha devotees must adopt archa vidhi, or deity worship, according to the suitable arrangement and directions given by the spiritual master. Regarding those unable to take the deity worship in the temple, there's the following statement in the Agni Purana. Any household devotee circumstantially unable to worship the deity must at least see the deity worship. In this way he may achieve success also. The special purpose of deity worship is to keep oneself always pure and clean. Devotees should be actual examples of cleanliness. So it says that if people can do the deity worship, they should come at least see the deity worship. That means attend the morning program. Everybody that lives in a reasonable radius of the temple, and it's easy for them to come, should not be lazy and stay at home and thinking I don't have to come to Mangal Artik or Guru Puja or class. But they should personally come and see the deity worship, see the artik, take part in the kirtan, and to keep themselves pure. It says the devotee householders should be actual examples of cleanliness. Cleanliness means not only externally, but internally too. Deity worship should be continued along with hearing and chanting. Therefore, every mantra is preceded by the word Namaha. In all the mantras, there are specific potencies, which the Grihastha devotees must take advantage. There are many mantras preceded by the word Namaha. If one chants the holy name of the Lord, he receives the results of chanting Namaha many times. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can reach the platform of the love of God, love of Godhead. One might ask, then what is the necessity of being initiated? The answer is that even though the chanting of the holy name is sufficient to enable one to progress in spiritual life to the standard of the love of God, one is nevertheless susceptible to contamination because of possessing a material body. Consequently, special stress is given to the archa vidhi. One should therefore regularly take advantage of both the Bhagavat process and the Panchamrita process. So he says that the holy name doesn't wait for initiation. But that may be in special cases. But in the most part, everyone is recommended that everyone take initiation. Because if you don't take initiation, then you don't have to follow principles. You've not made a commitment. But taking initiation means that you're committing yourself, that you're promising that you're going to follow the principles: no eating, no gambling, no illicit, no intoxication, for the rest of your life. So it's not a fad. Sometimes people think the Hare Krishna movement was a fad, or the parents think that my child is just going through some phase in his life and he'll get over it one of these days. And sometimes they even they're saving a room for their child. But it's not the case. Once you take initiation, then you promise before the fire, before the spiritual master, before the deities, that you're going to follow the principles for your whole life. And they asked Prabhupada that if you can't follow the principles, then Prabhupada said, then you're not a gentleman. Or in some cases he said, if you can't chant 16 rounds every day, then you're an animal. He wasn't very lenient. So any gentleman makes a promise, and you have to keep your promise. So everyone must take initiation. And then the initiating guru is one, but Shiksha guru is many. So if with the permission of your initiating guru, you can take Shiksha from someone you feel can give you more instructions on spiritual life. It's not restricted to one person. So the Rupa Goswami also says that the process of Do Guru Ashraya, this is the first principle in the 64 items of devotional service. Deity worship has two divisions, namely pure and mixed with fruitive activities. For one who's steady, deity worship is compulsory. Observing various types of festivals such as Janmashtami, Ram Navami, and the Shringa Chaturdasi is also included in the process of deity worship. In other words, it's compulsory for our household devotees to observe these festivals. So deity worship says it has two divisions, named pure and mixed with fruitive activities. This is described by Lord Kapila Dev, the third canto, to Mother Devahuti. How the Sri Sri Gauranitai Krishna Balaram Radhishama Sundar. Lord Kapila Dev describes that the Kanistha Bhakta is considered a separatist. Deity worship is sometimes said, let the neophyte ring the bells. There's Gosti Nandis and Bhajan Nandis. The Bhajan Nandi is only considered in his own advancement. But the Gosti Nandis, they preach and want to deliver the fallen conditioned souls. So the neophyte Kanistha Bhakta may worship the deity in the temple, but he may be considered a separatist because his interests, he has different interests also. And he may not know how to respect the devotees and see the super soul in every living entity. And Prabhupada said, if a great personality comes to your home and you're doing your deity worship, you can stop your deity worship for the time being to receive your guests. So the separatist means the Jari may have mixed, he's not pure in all his activities, he still has material desires, still contaminated by the motor passion and ignorance. But still he should goes on with the deity worship anyhow. And it also says that we should observe these festivals, Janmashtami, Ram Navami, and Shringa Chaturdasi. Now Prabhupada says, let's discuss the offenses in deity worship. Following are offenses: to enter the temple with shoes, to not observe the prescribed festivals, to avoid offering obeisances in front of the deities, to offer prayers in unclean state, not having washed one's hands after eating, to offer obeisances with one hand. This is the common disease in our movement, the one-handed obeisances. See it all the time. Either the cell phone obeisances, or the beanbag obeisances, or the no-hand obeisances. But it says, you should offer obeisances with two hands. Srila Prabhupada would see, always his hands were free, two hands. Otherwise, it says in Hari Bhakti Vilas, if you offer with one hand obeisances, you lose all your pious credits. There's always are in the habit of offering one-handed obeisances or no-handed obeisances, but you should get in the habit of offering two-handed obeisances. If you're going to be offering obeisances, you should make your hands free and put your bead bag in your pocket or whatever, or not worry about your bead bag. But it's like we're offering obeisances, you're offering respects, touching the lotus feet of the Lord and the devotee. So we should always offer two-handed obeisances, either to the devotees and also to the deities. The circumambulating directly in front of the deity, that's why we do Tulsi Puja, we close the, that doesn't include dancing. If you're circumambulating dancing in front of the deity, that's not an offense, but worshipping Tulsi, we're circumambulating Tulsi, and we do that with the deity's door is closed. Spread one leg before the deities, to sit before the deities, or holding one's ankles and one's hands, to lie down before the deity, to eat before the deity. That doesn't include Mahaprasadam or Charamrit. You can take a little Mahaprasadam. To speak lies before the deities, to address someone loudly before the deities, to talk nonsense before the deities, to cry before the deities, to argue before the deities, to chastise someone before the deities, to show someone favor before the deities, to use harsh words before the deities, to wear a woolen blanket before the deities, to blaspheme someone before the deities, to worship someone else before the deities. So Harisari asked Prabhupada, well, why are we worshiping you in front of the deities? Prabhupada just said that was a detail. So it was a special case in Prabhupada's. Prabhupada's case was special. We do deity Gaur Puja in front of the deities. To use vulgar language before the deity, pass air before the deity, to avoid very opulent worship of the deity, even though one is able to perform it, to eat something not offered to the deity, to avoid offering fresh fruits to the deity according to the seasons, to offer food to the deity which has already been used or from which has been given to others. In other words, food should not be distributed to anyone else until it has been offered to the deity. To sit with one's back to the deity, to offer obeisances to someone else in front of the deity, not to chant proper prayers when offering obeisances to the spiritual master. So you should chant proper prayers when you're offering obeisances to your spiritual master, Pranam mantra. It should be offered not silently, but softly. To praise oneself before the deities, to blaspheme the demigods. The worship of the deity, these 32 offenses should be avoided. In the Raha Purana, following offenses are mentioned: to eat in the house of a rich man, to enter the deity, that's if he's not a devotee, to enter the deity room in the dark, to worship deity without following the regulated principles, to enter the deity without vibrating some sound, to enter the temple without vibrating some sound. So there should be a bell, and most temples there's a bell outside the when you enter the temple or outside the temple. And you should ring the bell and chant the name of the deity, Shri Shri Gauranitai Krishna Balaram Radha Shyam. Like food that has been seen by a dog, break silence while offering worship to the deity. That means the pujaris shouldn't speak about nonsense things in front of the deities. They should only speak about the service. To go to the toilet during the time of worshiping the deity, of course, if you have to answer the call of nature, then sometimes it's unavoidable. But generally, pujaris don't have that problem. They may have a problem once in a while, but still, you have to take a bath. To offer incense without offering flowers. To worship deity with forbidden flowers. That means flowers with no smell or no scent. To begin worship without having washed one's mouth, one's teeth. To begin worship after sex. To touch a lamp, dead body, or woman during her menstrual period, or put on red or bluish clothing, unwashed clothing, clothing of others, or soiled clothing. So it says here one should not wear red or blue clothing in front of the deities. But most people don't follow that. But you should, when you're buying your clothes, you should not buy something that's red or blue. Other offenses are to worship the deity after seeing a dead body, to pass air before the deity, to show anger before the deity, to worship the deity just after returning from a crematorium. So if you go to the burning god, then you shouldn't go in front of the deities immediately. You take bath and purify yourself, change your clothes. After eating, one should not worship the deity until one has digested his food. One should not touch the deity or engage in deity worship after eating safflower oil or hing. These are also offenses. Other places, the following list. To be against the spiritual injunction of the Vedic literature or disrespect one's heart, disrespect within one's heart, the stream of Bhagavatam, while externally falsely accept principles, accepting its principles. To introduce or fencing different shastras, the Jew pan and betel nut before the deity. To keep flowers for worship on the leaf of a castor oil plant. To worship the deity in the afternoon. So the deity puja should be done in the morning or the evening, but not in the afternoon. To sit on the altar or to sit on the floor to worship the deity without a seat. To touch the deity with the left hand while bathing the deity. To worship the deity with a stale or used flower. To spit while worshiping the deity. To advertise one's glories while worshiping the deity. To apply tilak to one's forehead in a curved way. That means 3-line tilak. That's for the Mayavadis and Shivites. They put the 3-line tilak. We put the Vaishnava tilak. To enter the temple without having washing one's feet. We don't have a facility for that here in the front. To offer the deity food cooked by an uninitiated person. Sometimes uninitiated people cook for the deities in other temples, but they shouldn't do that. To worship the deity, offer bhoga to the deity within the vision of an uninitiated person or non-Vaishnava. So when we offer the bhoga, with the doors open, we put a curtain up so no one will see the bhoga. To worship deity while perspiring, refuse flowers offered to the deity, to take a vow or oath in the holy name of the Lord. If one commits any of the above offenses, one must read at least one chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. So if you commit offense, deity worship, you can read chapter 12 or chapter 15. It's 20 verses, takes a short time, 10-15 minutes. This is confirmed in the Skanda Purana, Avanti Kanda. Similarly, there's another injunction saying that one who reads 1,000 names of Vishnu can be released from all offenses. In the Skanda Purana, Rava Kanda, it's said that one who recites prayers to Tulsi or sows a Tulsi seed is also free from all offenses. So, similarly, one who worships the Shalagram Shila can also be relieved of offenses. In the Brahma Purana, it is said that one who worships Lord Vishnu with whose 4 hands hold a conch shell, disc, club, lotus flower, and club can be relieved from above offenses. In the Adivara Purana, it is said that a worshiper who has committed offenses may fast for 1 day at the holy place known as Sokarava and then bathe in the Ganges. So Shalagam worship is Prabhupada wrote in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the Shalagram Shila should be installed in all our temples and be worshipped on a daily basis. In the beginning of the movement, devotees were afraid to worship Shalagram because Shalagram is not as merciful. Gaura-Nitaya is merciful and don't accept offenses, but Shalagram isn't so merciful. If you offend the Shalagram, then you have to suffer reaction. Anyway, as the devotees became more experienced in deity worship and more mature, then the Shalagram is generally worshipped in all of our temples. In the process of worshiping deity, it's sometimes enjoined that one worship the deity within the mind. Padma Purana, Uttarakanda is said, all persons can generally worship within the mind. The Gautamaya Tantra states that for a sannyasi who has no home, worship of the deity within the mind is recommended. Narada Pancharatra is stated by Lord Narayan. The worship of the deity within the mind is called Manasa Puja. One can become free from the 4 miseries by this method, namely birth, death, old age, and disease. Sometimes worship from the mind can be independently executed. According to the instructions of Ravihotra Muni, one of the 9 Yogendras, had mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, may we worship the deity by chanting all the mantras. 8 kinds of deities are mentioned in the Shastra. The mental deity is one. In this regard, the following description is given in the Ramana Vairata Purana. So if one is worshipping Shalagram and deity, some deity form, and he has to travel, then he can, where it's not possible to worship deity in public, then he can do the Manasa Puja. He can do the puja in his mind. So, this is not so easy, but I guess you have to train your mind to fix your mind on the deity, and it can be done. So in the city of Pratishta Pura long ago, there resided a Brahmana who was poverty-stricken, but innocent and not dissatisfied. One day he heard a discourse from an assembly of Brahmanas concerning how to worship the deity in the temple. In that meeting he also heard that the deity may be worshipped within the mind. After this incident, the Brahmana, having bathed in the Govedari river, began mentally worshipping the deity. He washed the temple within his mind, and then in his imagination he would bring water from all sacred rivers in gold and silver water pots, collected all kinds of paraphernalia for worshipping, and he worshipped the deity very gorgeously, beginning from bathing deity, ending with offering arti. Thus he felt great happiness. After many years had passed in this way, one day within his mind he cooked nice sweet rice with ghee to worship deity. He placed the sweet rice on a golden dish and offered to the Lord. But he felt that the sweet rice was very hot. Therefore, he touched it with his finger. He immediately felt that his finger had been burned by the hot sweet rice, and thus he began to lament. While the Brahmin was in pain, Lord Vishnu Vaikuntha began smiling. The goddess of fortune inquired from the Lord, "Why are you smiling?" Lord Vishnu then ordered his associates to bring the Brahmana to Vaikuntha. Thus the Brahmana attained liberation of Samipya, facility living near the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this story is also there in the Nectar of Devotion. The Brahmin was cooking sweet rice, and sweet rice should be offered as cold as possible. Sweet rice is better, the colder the better. When we don't know that. Most people, they don't know that in our kitchens in India. Sweet rice is usually warm or hot. The colder, the better. So the Brahmin made the sweet rice, and he wanted to make sure it was the right temperature, so he put his finger to test it. And this is all in meditation. But when his meditation broke, he saw that his finger was burned. So this pleased Lord Vishnu. He went to Vaikuntha. Also, you know, Pundarik Vidyanidhi criticized deity worship, and Lord Jagannath and Lord Balaram came to him in a dream and slapped his face. The next morning when he woke up, his face was swollen. So there's different instances, things happen to devotees. So this is the end of the purport to this deity worship. Now today is the disappearance day of Shamananda Prabhu. Shamananda Prabhu was given the name Dukhi Krishna at birth. Then he took initiation from Hridaya Chaitanya, was given the name Krishna Das, and he came to Vrindavan. And he would sweep the road, Sebakunj. So when the pilgrims came to Sebakunj, they wouldn't hurt their feet by getting pricked by thorns. So one day he found a ankle bell, and he didn't know who it belonged to. So the gopis came there and said that it belongs to Radharani. And he said, well, I'll not give this to anybody but the owner. So they blindfolded Shamananda. At that time, his name was still Krishna Das. He took the ankle bell, gave it to Radharani. And when he was going to put it on Radharani's foot, she took the ankle bell and she touched it to his forehead, making like a tattoo or a permanent marking. So at the Radhashama Sundar temple, you can see this. They wear a different kind of tilak. And then he was given the name Shamananda. So actually, because he received the name, the mercy of Radharani. And then, so Shamananda is his samadhi is there at the Radha Shamasundar temple. You can ask the Pujari or ask for the key. They'll give you the key. You can go in the samadhi. It's underground. And also his Bhajan Kuntir, the place where he found his samadhi, is also there across the street. And maybe difficult. You have to ask someone where it is, how to find it. So Shamananda and Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivas Acharya were the expansions of the energy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. They were empowered incarnations of the Lord. And they were given the task of taking the books of the Goswamis to Bengal. It was the first traveling Sankirtan party. And so they loaded the bullock cart with these 3 trunks of books with 10 men to guard them. And on the way to Bengal, they went through one kingdom where the king was a cruel man, and he would rob travelers. Anybody who came through his kingdom, he'd send the men to kill them and rob them. So he's informed about these persons who had trunks with valuable in them, trunks that had valuable items in them. So he told his men, you go and steal these trunks, but don't kill anyone. So they went at night when everyone was sleeping, and they stole the trunks of books and took them to the king. When he opened the trunks and saw there were books, he didn't think they were of much value, but he kept them in his go-down. So Srinivasacharya, Shamananda, and Narottam became very morose about this. They lost the books. They didn't know what to do. So Srinivasacharya stayed back, and Shamananda and Narottam went on to preach in Bengal. And eventually Srinivasacharya recovered the books, and the king became a Vaishnava. So this is the only information I have about Shamananda Prabhu. He was a great Vaishnava and great devotee of the Lord. And you can visit his temple, Radhashamasanu temple, and see his samadhi. It's underground. We still have a murti of him there, which they worship daily. Shamananda Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.